it doesn't surprise me that Adriana would do that. But for Nicole, it did shock me, honestly, that she would lend herself for that poor behavior. Because, she tends to be like, oh, I'm holier than thou. I'm so above you. And I'm this and the other. So somebody as smart as her, knew who Ana was because she's been talking to Ana. It's no secret, right? That she knows that. And Ana only has ugly things to say about everyone because Ana hates herself because, only miserable people do these things. And I do have a problem with these former housewives that they come back that have been fired.
Yeah.
All they do is, badmouth all the other housewives that are on the show right now just because they were fired or no longer asked back, whatever you want to say. And I just have a problem with that.
I want to gab.
Okay, today we're gabbing with Alexa Nepola, one of the original cast members of The Real Housewives of Miami. Alexia and I have done several interviews over the years, and what I love about our chats is that you are always unapologetic and extremely open about how you're feeling and what you think about things, and I so respect that. Alexia, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You always make it so nice and easy and fun. So I am very happy to be here.
I'm glad. Again, we're deep into this season. A lot of it's aired. How are you doing? What's the mindset right now?
Well, my mindset is good. I want to say that I'm always like in a good place, like with myself and the way I'm feeling about myself. And I'm excited for the reunion. We have the reunion taping. And that's why we're here in New York City. I wish it was in Miami because we have better weather, but I'm happy that I'm here enjoying a little bit of the snow and of the cold because I do love it. Yes, I just feel like I'm excited. I feel like I have a new love for the reunions. I used to always hate the reunions, but I feel like now I understand them and I get the point that we need to be there because it's like when you get to come back and clarify and talk about a lot of things that maybe you hadn't talked about. And then obviously in my case, I'm seeing a lot of people saying things behind my back, which I wasn't aware of. So there's a lot of explaining to do. So now I have like a new love, for the reunion. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's good to hear because I feel like a lot of people do sort of not resent them, but they dread them a little bit. What was the switch for you in terms of seeing them in a positive light and sort of a way to get closure or answers on things?
Well, I believe today, like when I didn't like them or felt so comfortable was when we started doing this in 2010, like season 1, season 2.
Right.
And I think it's because we didn't have what we have now, like the social media. So now our lives outside the show have become part of the show, but not all the viewers are also involved in our lives outside the show.
Right.
I don't know. Do you follow? So what I'm trying to say
is it's like
right now.
Yeah, not everybody's paying attention to the online conversation necessarily. So it's for you to bring it to that point. Yeah.
Right. So we have to inform the viewers. And that's like why some of the ladies come with receipts and proof and timelines and everything else Heather said, right? And I'm not that person because I've always said, like, I talk from the heart and I speak the truth. But, sometimes you do need that, to kind of like remind the audience, like this and this is what happened previous. Like you guys didn't get to watch this because it wasn't part of the show while we were filming those 3 months. But all this has developed since then and they need to know.
Totally. So what sticks out to you in terms of something that you want to address, or you said people were talking behind your back? Who were you alluding to specifically when you say that?
Well, specifically to Adriana, I think that I welcomed her into my home, in the beginning, and I really wanted to move on, and she pretended that she did, and I believed her.
Right.
Even bringing her pop as the white flag, saying like she wanted, peace, when what she really wanted was war, because she lives in the war zone. Like that's like who she is. So yeah, I have a lot of things like to say to her. I think that we between us, we have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, because I was pleasantly surprised that you two in that first episode were willing to just like move past it or try to move past it and wave the white flag.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of it had to do with the rest of the girls in the group. A lot of them were like, you know what, you need to move forward. She's not well, like making excuses for her. But you know what? I said, you know what? If anybody can bring this group together, it's me. So I have to set
and you did.
Tone. And I did, right? And I said, I have to set the tone. So I'm going to listen to all of you. I'm going to do something that's kind of like against what I'm feeling right now, but hopefully I'll get there. But then again, she proved myself wrong and she proved everybody else wrong.
Yeah.
because, as you see, she's been doing and saying, all these kind of things. So like I said, I have a lot, to discuss with her at the reunion.
Yeah. So where, I guess like in filming, where to you did it start to go left again? Was it this thing with Anna and the luncheon? Was it earlier than that? What was
Yeah,
the
well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So with actually with Nicole, I was good with Nicole and super excited about, this
Yeah, it
season with
seemed that
her and
way.
the whole thing until the Mother's Day massacre, because it was like an ambush to Marisol. Yeah, it wasn't even like a Mamacita lunch. By the way, like our moms weren't there. Like for me, it was like, I look back at it and I was like, it was such a special day. We're honoring mothers and ourselves. We're all mothers. Like instead of sitting there and trying to like tear each other down and bringing up, a third person that doesn't belong to the group anymore, and there's a reason why she doesn't. We could have done so much more without. We could have said stories about how,
Hmm.
being a mom, what is for us, all the challenges that we've had. I thought we could have done so much more. So like looking back in hindsight, I was like, I can't believe Guerdy was going through her thing. The next day she was starting her treatment. So I was like really disappointed in all of us, even myself. I'm not saying like I'm so perfect, even at my behavior, but I'm just very passionate that way.
Of
And I
course.
was like, this is a setup. Like they did this to you, Marisol. And yeah, I'm very real. I'm very
Yeah, no,
authentic.
of course.
That's what I
Yeah.
was really feeling like at the
Yeah.
moment.
I guess my question for you, Alexia, is like, I think as a viewer watching the show, it feels pretty clear that like Adriana was sort of the one driving the Anna ship and Nicole sort of went along with it. But obviously in the show, we're seeing you and Marisol kind of place more blame on Nicole because she threw the event.
I'll
Do
tell
you,
you why.
yeah.
Because
Yeah. Can you
Adriana's
explain?
behavior is very predictable.
Got
So
it.
it doesn't surprise me that Adriana would do that. But for Nicole, it did shock me, honestly, that she would lend herself for that poor behavior. Because she tends to be like, oh, I'm holier than thou, I'm so above you, and I'm this and the other. So somebody as smart as her knew who Anna was because she's been
Right.
talking to Anna. It's no secret, right? That she knows that. And Anna only has ugly things to say about everyone because Anna hates herself because only miserable people do these things. And I do have a problem with these former housewives that they come back that have been
They latch
fired, and
on.
all
Yeah.
they do is, badmouth all the other housewives that are on the show right now just because they were fired or no longer asked back, whatever you want to say. And I just have a problem with that. And I already knew Anna's history. I knew the way she felt about Marisol. So they didn't go for Marisol because Marisol's not confrontational and she doesn't stick up for herself, but I do.
Mm.
So she made up a rumor about me. But yes, I was, again, like, I'm so over Adriana. It's like, it's so predictable already. It's like
Right.
when it's not Larsa, it's when she's slapping Joanna. She's, going after Larsa. Now it's me. Last season was me too. So it doesn't surprise me. But I was really hurt that Nicole would be okay with that. And
So
I know she wants
yeah.
to like clean her hands and say, oh, I had nothing to do with it. She's always been so nice. I don't know anything about it, but I'm not buying it. She pretended she didn't know her last name, Kinko. What Kinko? And then she said she couldn't keep her story straight, that she worked with Anthony. Like, just like lies, little lies, lies,
Yeah.
lies. And I just prefer like if she would have stand up and said, listen, you know what? Anna came because she had a, I wanted Anna to be my mouthpiece because that's what they brought her for.
Hmm.
Nicole hasn't gone over the fact that Marisol started the game in the Hamptons 2 years ago.
Wow.
And she's still trying to get back at her. And Adriana hasn't forgotten that I, said that her fake boyfriend was married.
Right.
So they're still trying to get back. It's like tit for tat. Like analyze the whole situation and then it is what it is.
So that's what you expect. So what do you my next question for you, Alexia, was sort of like what did you think the whole plan was? Was it just for Anna to sort of repeat this claim about like you and Todd's finances? Like what do you think the plan was that because I think you smartly at that lunch, I thought it was very smart of you that you sort of got ahead of it and you kind of shut it down before they could even get to that. But what do you
Right.
think the plan
Well, I
was?
mean, Anna has publicly in her Instagram already that same day
Episode came out.
episode came out, she put in her Instagram that she had nothing to do with it
Hmm.
and that she never said that and she never repeated that. And I believe Anna, by the way, because Anna would never make a comment. Anna doesn't even know my husband. So I think I understand why Anna would want to do it, right? Because
Right.
Anna wants to come back to the show.
Yeah,
Even
she
though
wants the
she
moment.
criticized
Right.
the show, she needs her product back on the shelf if her product still even exists. So she wants to be relevant. She wanted to come back. I understand why she would do all that. But the fact that Nicole would lend herself to do that, she has a lot of explaining to do. And you can't play the dumb card with me because you're not dumb. You knew who she was, you knew she was doing. And I think Nicole would have had a better moment if she would have been that girl and said to Adriana, listen, I know what you're doing. This is the history this woman has, and had the one-on-one with her. You know, sometimes even though you're friends, you have a bad idea, you have to discourage your friend and say,
Right.
bro, like that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So the fact that she went with it and she played dumb and she's still trying to like, oh my God, I'm so offended. They think it's me. I'm not buying it.
Mhm.
And that's what you know about me. Just like when I'm not sorry, I'm not sorry.
Exactly.
And there's
Unapologetic.
nothing that's gonna convince me, the reunion or anything that she has to say, that she had nothing to do with it, because
Right.
she did.
Right. And then, you know, you had explained on the show why you're moving out into confessional, and it was like, it made sense to me. And then Todd went on TikTok and he did this very in-depth video that I thought again, but I thought that again, like he showed why you guys made that decision, and it made sense to me. Like the numbers were
It
there.
still makes sense to him, of course.
Right.
Like that's what he believes.
Yeah.
But the fact, and you see, and this is why Todd doesn't like the show, because we really do have the ability of making up rumors about people, you know, without any facts and without any validity. And that's what Nicole actually didn't want to do to Marisol. And she said it in the reunion last year. She's like, you know what? Ana has told me a lot of things, but I don't have the proof. I don't have the facts. Therefore, I'm not going to repeat them. So she's like, okay, I won't, but I'll bring Ana so Ana could say them.
Right.
And then, you know, Ana was a flop. I mean, think about it. Ana came in and she couldn't even say a word because she knew what she was doing. She couldn't look at me in the eyes and do
She
what
couldn't.
she did.
No, she couldn't.
Couldn't.
She
Because I speak the truth. Like, don't come
Yeah.
to
And
me
also
with lies.
it
I
would
know
be
exactly
one
what you're
thing.
doing. Yeah.
It would be one thing if she had come in and did what she, I guess, had come there to do, but she didn't even do that. So she just kind of like sauntered out of the room, I guess.
Right.
But it was
right. And you guys will have to continue to watch, because Ana does show up again
Oh, does she?
at the grand finale. So you're gonna see more, you know, more
And
to
how
that.
and what can you tease how that goes?
I was like, there was so much going on in the grand finale, more than anything, you know. Guerdy and Larsa continues. So you're gonna have to watch, because
Okay.
Ana was there, but then everybody was calling me before saying, I don't know what she's doing. She told me she was going, but I didn't invite her. Funny enough, right? They all called me right before the finale, and they're like, we didn't invite Ana. We heard she was going, but we didn't invite her, because now they knew.
Got it.
Like, because you know, sometimes you have to speak your mind.
Of
and you have to
course.
say how you're feeling. And you know, I don't care that this is a show or it is what it is. I live my life like that's how I am in my real friend group. And these ladies are my friends. You know, I think we've been together, you know, especially like Lisa, Larsa, Marisol. We have such a history that, you know, I feel that we should be able to talk about all these things.
Yeah. Okay. So there's an attempt.
My delivery is a little bit
No,
passionate.
whatever. I think that's why a lot of people love you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so there's an attempt number 2 at the finale with something involving Ana. So we will see.
But it was quite different. It was quite different.
Interesting.
So not everybody's there, and you know, you're gonna see.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's why she's no longer in the group. You know,
Right.
Sometimes you can't fix those things, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So you, I mean, you and Adriana, it's so kind of wild, I think, to watch it, because it's like once the moment you think that you guys are sort of on the right path, again, something happens. And the thing that came out at towards the end of last year was that you guys had this sort of incident at the Miami airport after BravoCon, where, and I guess the source attached to that story said that they thought that Adriana was jealous of your burgeoning friendship with Julia, and there was sort of competition there. What can you say about that whole situation?
Yeah, so I think that's so I do think that Adriana can be a little jealous of my new friendship with Julia. I think it's bothering him because Adriana is that person. I'm not. Neither is Marisol. Marisol's not jealous of my friendship with Julia. As a matter of fact, I'm helping them be friends as well. And there's room for everyone here to be friends. Like, I love to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends. Like, that was one of the things that my mom would always, that would catch my mom's attention, actually, because she would tell me, you know, somebody like you would not expect to have so many friends. Because, you know, my mom always thought, like, you know, people are going to be jealous of you. They're going to do this or that. You're like intimidating and this, that, and the other. But for me, friendships have always been so important. I have so many friends, you know, and all my friends are like me. They're strong, they're smart, they're successful, they're good moms, they're good daughters. And I love women, and I love friendships, and I love to empower women. So sometimes it's a little disappointing in this group when we don't see that and then want to twist everything around. You know, if you say something, oh my God, you're like bullying me, like you're so defensive. So it's like sometimes I'm even like scared to talk, like even more, you know, in the
Right.
group. But you know, with somebody like Adriana, she has a history and a pattern of showing that. And it's a terrible thing. You know, I don't know what that sentiment is like and an emotion, but you know, jealousy makes a lot of people do crazy things,
Mm.
whether it's with a guy in a relationship or with a friend, with a girlfriend, or whatever it may be. And Adriana, I had seen when this happened at the airport, we were coming back from BravoCon. So at this point, we hadn't seen any episodes, and I think they sent the second or third episode, and I just had seen it in the hotel room. And she was pretending, you know, to be nice. I started seeing already. I said, "Whoa!" Like I didn't know she was like starting this,
Got
right?
it.
Because she never did it in front of my face.
Right. It was in the car. It was in the other.
Right? It
Yeah,
was in the
exactly.
car. It was in her confessionals. So I hadn't seen that.
Mm.
So she kept on coming up to inside the airplane. Julie and I were sitting next to each other. And actually, our seats, we were not supposed to fly next to each other, but we asked, you know, whoever was sitting next to us if we can switch. So Julie and I got to sit together and we talked a lot. And I know Adriana was in the front, miserable all by herself, per usual. You know, with all her like costume that she wears, you know, like whatever. So, anyways, I was with Julia having a beautiful talk, and then she started coming up. And I was letting them talk like whatever. Like I love that they're still friends because I
Right.
believe that you can be friends with both.
I do too. Yeah,
You
I
don't
do
have
too.
to
Yep.
choose. I mean, like I said, in my real life, I have those situations too, and I am friends with everyone.
Right.
And I don't make anybody like take
Yeah.
a side. I
Right.
don't
Just
even
don't
involve them, as a matter of
don't talk
fact.
out of both sides of your mouth. But I think
Yeah,
you
it
can maintain
makes
the friendships.
no
Yes,
sense to
totally.
me. So, anyways, we got off the plane, whatever, we're waiting for our bags. And it's me, Julie, and Kiki, and she just like comes up to me like if nothing, like, oh hi, did you see? I said, something just came into me because I can't be a hypocrite. I just can't keep it inside. And once I get it out, I'm good, but I can't keep it inside of me. And so she came to be nice and fake per usual. And I was like, listen, don't try to make me, you know, seem like you're okay with me and that you like me, because, you know, I just saw the episode, and just thank you for proving to me that you're the same asshole that I always thought you were. And she just like lost it. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, you're gonna pretend that you don't know what you've been doing and saying? I'm like, I can't even imagine everything else you've done. And then she's like, oh, that's because you think this, that, and the other. And then I said, she goes, oh, you're so arrogant. And I said, oh, well, sorry that you don't know the word confidence. It's called confidence.
Mm.
And I go, but because you don't have it, you think that I'm arrogant, but I'm not. But you would be a little bit more, you know, you would have more confidence. You wouldn't have all these insecurities. So we just like start having it off.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we just like went crazy. And Kiki was like holding us back.
Wow.
And Kiki's like, oh my God, everybody's watching. I'm like, I don't care about everybody, because when I get into that space, I just go like
Tunnel
that.
vision. Right.
Yeah. And she was saying a lot of ugly things because she started cursing. I don't necessarily have to curse to get my point across, but it got ugly.
Mm.
And then from there, I just stepped away. I went to go talk to Marisol and Steve, and she stayed there. And then when I left, you know, when I got my bags, you know, I said goodbye to Kiki and I said goodbye to Julia, and because I have manners and they're my friends. And as I was leaving, she goes, goodbye, asshole. And I said, okay. I just looked at her and I was like, okay, I'm not going to continue this because, you know, I just know how you are. So since then we haven't spoken, obviously. And,
Right.
you know, I've watched the show just like everybody else has. And, you know, I've kind of like given up on her. Like, I'm really not interested, honestly. But, you know, I do have a lot of things to say at the reunion because that's what it's for. And
Clearly,
you know,
yeah.
I'm very vocal. So, you know, I'm going to say something.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like, you know, you started feeling this way after watching the episode. So you had filmed the whole season and you weren't feeling as strong of as strongly about Adriana until you saw what she was saying. And so
Right.
it
Because you
made
know
the
what?
reunion
She's
is
a
for that.
coward. She's a
Hmm.
coward. She didn't have the face to tell me. She didn't have like to tell me in my face.
Hmm.
And, you know, and that's what friends do. So I just, that's not my style, you know, to
Right.
sit there for 3 months, like talking behind people's
Yeah.
back.
Right.
You know, I like to tell you in your face. So I
Yeah.
guess, you know,
And
she'll
you
have to
always
tell
have
me
been
in my
like that.
face.
Yeah. I know
She'll have to tell me
exactly.
in my
Yeah.
face in the
That's what
reunion.
the
Everything
reunion's
you
for.
said, you're just sitting
Yeah.
across from me. Tell me now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexia, I just wanted to get your thoughts quickly before we end about, I mean, one of the biggest other conflicts of the season is this whole Larsa and Guerdy situation where
Yeah,
Guerdy
that's very unfortunate.
told Larsa about her diagnosis, asked her not to say anything, and she did say something. What do you think of that now that you have seen it play out on the show and you've seen sort of what that conversation was like? What do you make of that whole situation?
Again, I feel it's so unfortunate because the fact that, Gertie has been sick and that she has to, put her emotional and
Hmm.
her physical and psychological and just be, part of this fight. I don't like it.
Yeah.
For me, health is a whole different thing. Like for me, Gertie has a pass because, it's a lot, medical
Oh my
condition and
God. Yeah.
something like this. It is like your mind's not the same, just the fact that she, would show up to film and she
Oh my
participated and
God. So
she
impressive.
did, it really is impressive. I have like a new level of respect and admiration and love for Gertie.
That's
And I'm
great.
very happy for her. And, again, I think that if Larsa and Gertie would have had like a sit down, just them two, and they wouldn't have get it, let it go so far,
Sure.
maybe things could have gone resolved. Because you know what happens, and I think it happens a lot in friend groups, and it happens in our group. It's like we fight, blah, 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 we scream, we lose it. And then, after we're like, oh, I love you. But you really never get to have that heart to heart moment where you could just get it all out between you two without everybody else jumping in. Cause I'm more
Hmm.
like that. Like I want my one-on-one moments because I think that once it's in the whole group, like it gets contaminated, everybody jumps in and it gets really ugly and nasty. And, I think that Larsa had good intentions. I don't think it was in a bad way, but she never really got to tell Gertie that,
Right.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I
hopefully at the
think that
reunion, there's that moment where they can
I
really
really
just
hope
say
so.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Right.
hope so.
Right. Well, Alexia, I'm assuming we might see this play out in the show. And you said that you weren't happy to move out of your gorgeous apartment, but
Yes,
I'm sure that you guys found some other great place to live. Are we going to
we
see that
did. I
on the
mean, it
show?
was short term. I mean, what happened was that we've been living at the Porsche for 7 years, and
Yeah.
we've always rented. I never said I owned, and that's the thing about
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like I always say the truth, and besides that, I don't know what the difference is
There's no
between
shame in
owning or
renting or owning.
renting
And oh my
because
God,
the
please.
bank, right? Even if you own, you still have a mortgage and you're still paying the bank, and it's not yours unless you buy it, obviously free and clear and cash, whatever. But just because we had to move doesn't mean that we're having financial problems. By the way,
Exactly.
we're paying a lot more for a smaller apartment now than we were paying at the Porsche because obviously, well, before we moved, we had pre-COVID prices.
Hmm.
After we moved now recently, 2023, Miami's on fire.
Yep.
It's all about supply and demand. There weren't too many places that we could move to. We had a lot of cars. A lot of these buildings don't allow more than two cars. And that's the situation we had. We had very little days to move out. Well, we had like a month and a half kind of. The thing is, we didn't really believe the person that was buying the apartment was going to close. So we were kind of like seeing, because like a year ago, he had tried to buy it because he was also like a renter in the
Got
building.
it.
So we had, but again,
It
it
just
all
happened.
happens like
Yeah.
that
It
fast.
happened out
But
from under
the
you.
fact that they're like, oh, it's because you're having financial problems.
No, no,
Todd
no.
didn't show up at my part at the party. Oh, you're having marital problems. I mean, like I said,
Like you said, he doesn't like the show, so he probably didn't want to face what I mean. He knew something would be stirred up or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I don't want to make this party about me. And I know like all you girls
Yeah.
are gonna do that because that just happened,
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like I
But
said,
are you happy in
our
your new
families
spot
don't.
though?
Sorry.
Are you happy in your new spot though? Are you, even though it is
Actually,
smaller?
no, we're
Oh,
already
okay.
looking. We're already
Okay.
looking. So yeah, thank you because it's pushing us to like really find something that
All
we
right.
like
You'll
so we
find
can
it.
buy it. I think the difference between like the renting and the
Owning.
buying and owning is the stability,
Mm,
right? Because and that's what I tell Todd. It's not like I don't really care about renting it or buying because truthfully, nobody even really owns it. And a lot of these ladies are saying, oh, because you don't own your place. By the way, neither do they. Anthony's the one that owns the house, not Nicole. Her name's not on the deed.
mm.
And when I was with Herman, the house was under Herman's name. I was not on the deed. The only reason why I was going to get the house was because in case of death in my prenuptial, it said that I would get the house. But in case of a divorce, I would have been out, just like Lisa. But none of these women want to say the truth. And that's like the problem,
Got
that I
it.
have. I'm like the only one like that talks about her life and about her past and about, and I love it because that's why I am the woman that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
not like trying to feel sorry for myself. I just see it as an advantage and that as a blessing, you know, and I'm grateful for the life that I've had and the decisions that I made, and you learn from them, and that's it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like the
Okay.
story.
So
So
we're,
I'm not happy in the apartment
but we'll find a new spot
because I'm not happy that I pay much more rent for
for
an
less
apartment
space.
that's much less.
Mm-hmm.
The building is way bigger, you know, so I like my privacy. This building is like 300 units versus 100 that we had in Porsche. So, I mean, the view is spectacular, and I'm not trying to be, but I'm not proud of what we pay for for that, you know.
Right.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
find something that we really like. And again, it's not about owning or renting because you have to have the money to pay. So, I mean, it's like it makes no sense. Oh, you went to a smaller apartment, but the smaller apartment costs more money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I just think that we're going to moving forward because we want more stability. At
Right.
least I do. And Todd understands it. You know, we're gonna find a
You'll
place that
find
we
it.
really like so we can buy it and yeah.
Yeah. And be there. I love that. So you'll find it. You know, just
Mhm.
putting it out there that you'll find your place you want to call home forever. Honestly, that's
Yes.
what it's
I
all
mean, a
about.
home is anywhere, truthfully. Like I really felt like, again, even though we rent it because it's psychological, my apartment felt like my home.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
but
of
this
course.
one, it feels like a beach apartment. Like,
Ah,
I don't know if you get me, you'll see,
yeah,
because,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if we do start filming soon, I guess, you know, you'll get to see it. I mean, it comes
Got it.
out on the show. But what I'm trying to say is like, it's good for like a beach apartment. It feels like a beach apartment. And I know a home is like what you make it, but I don't see myself making this apartment my home. Whether I rent it, even if we were to buy it tomorrow,
Right,
like
right. It
it's
wouldn't
not
feel
gonna
that way to
feel like
you.
my home. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, Alexia, you're all descending on New York to film this reunion, and it's snowy and cold. You know, clearly you have some points you want to make with Adriana and Nicole. It seems like those are sort of the top of your list. So I'm just giving you good luck, good vibes at this reunion, and I'm really. A lot of people are loving this season, so I think you guys should feel. I know it's been dramatic, but you should feel good about the season that you
Yes.
guys have put together.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Thank you. Thank
course,
you for your love and support.
of
And we
course.
know that you guys love the drama. You know, that's what you watch us for. If we're like too nice and we don't say like too much, and we're like, oh no, they're too nice, they're boring. Right? Like it's like,
Right. It's a
but
fine line. It's a fine line. Right. But I think
right.
that
But that's what I
yeah,
love about our group, right? That we
right.
can have those moments, but yet we come
Totally.
together and we can tell Lisa everything we told her, but like coming from a good place from our heart because we care about her and we can bicker and
Yeah.
fight. But then we come together and we're holding her hand and we're cheering for her and we really love each other.
Yeah. There are true friendships in this group. I think that's what makes Miami stand out, I think, in so many ways. So congrats on a great season. Good luck in the reunion. And thanks for taking the time to chat today.
Thank you. Good,
Yeah, of
good to see
course.
you.
I want to gab.